welcome back everyone to the Vera Zambrano Show. I'm very pleased and honored today to have my very special guest, attorney Alessandro Alves Jacob, with us. Thank you so much for joining us in our team and of course all our listeners and viewers. We have a lot of international clients and I'm very pleased to introduce you a little bit to our audience. So you are a specialist, right? You are practicing law for over 30 years. You are an international attorney. You have a practice law firm in Brazil and also in Portugal, right? You are admitted
Yes,
to the Brazilian Bar Association, International Bar Association, and the American Bar Association. And you focus on a lot of international disputes and matters, including international corporate law, international family law, business law, and real estate law. Would you like to explain a little bit more to our listeners? We have a lot of international clients from all around the world that are seeking also legal help and consultation in international business matters, international family law, right? Would you like to explain a little bit more about yourself, how you got into law, and what is driving you to be an attorney?
oh, first of all, Vera, it's an honor to attend your podcast and be part of this project. And we started when I was around 17, 18 years old, when I passed the law school and start to work as paralegal in biggest law firms in Brazil. And there I got a lot of experience with my studying and working with them for 5 years. And around 22, 23 years, it's like up 30 years ago, I start my own law firm. And I remember I assisted many clients that are investing in Brazil, creating company, and then apply their visas. And after that, since I study and learn how to practice family law as well, we start to assist our clients with these matters, and we guide them with the Hague Convention cases here in Brazil. And so we have a lot of experience and assist in dozens of cases, and we know through the contacts and the people that working in this area with the authorities in US for the Hague Convention cases. And so since from there, we have been studying a lot and practicing a lot and helping many, many clients every year. Most of them are from the United States. And also I attend almost every year the International Bar Association, and I'm in the American Bar Association as foreigner lawyer, like a Brazilian lawyer, not American lawyer,
Yes.
and only as Brazilian and Portuguese lawyer. So it's since we start my career that it's a long journey. We have been assisting these clients with all the legal services in Brazil and successfully, thanks God that have been doing our best to help them, to protect them in Brazil. And so we develop our career with exactly these legal services. Now we assist our clients with all international matters, even in criminal cases. We
Yes.
assist clients with. We developed since this like past 20 years and a fantastic strategy to get minimal penalties for
Yes.
people used to carry drugs in Brazil. For example, used as mules,
Yes.
these teenagers that are using for drug trafficking in Brazil. So they come here and sometimes they even doesn't know they carry drugs. So we use to assist them and get fantastic results in order to prove they are not guilty for this situation since they are used and they didn't know about they are carrying. We assist a lot as well. It's another side for family law with divorce. We assist our clients here with international divorce when they involve assets or not. Nowadays, we can make this divorce when it's consensual, if there is no children under 18. We can assist them and apply in through with a notary registration, but online. So it's very comfortable for the clients since they are in the US and they are in Europe, and we can make a consensual divorce and register in notary that is the same as court. And
Yes.
most of our clients nowadays are coming to Brazil in order to invest in properties. We have like a similar golden visa to Portugal, where we can, when they buy a property for minimum 700,000 reais and north and northeast, they qualify for a residence visa. And it's the same for Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo, but the minimum investment is 1 million reais. And believe me, Vera, nowadays it's they have a fantastic advantage because our currency is very, very cheap. So real today is 5.20. So it's like $200,000 is more than 1 million reais, and you can find fantastic properties even closer to the beach. I have a client, for example, that is selling a property for 2 million 400,000 reais, that it's around less than $500,000. And believe me, it is 10 steps from Copacabana Beach.
Yes.
It's
Beautiful.
amazing penthouse that we are in the market. And for example, if clients invest in this property, they qualify for residence visa, for the real estate investor visa.
Yes,
You know?
that's beautiful. That's one advantage that you have right in Brazil, that you can actually
Yeah.
purchase a real estate property, and it's connected to immigration, right? You can combine those two different legal matters, which is very, you need to be a specialist, right, as an attorney to advise your clients on the best pathway, right? So when it comes to a lot of you said international families, you have also a lot of international families. When it comes to
Yes.
the high conflict divorces with assets abroad, assets in different countries, sometimes people have companies that need to be distributed, right, in divorces also. How would you advise international clients when they come to you and say they don't know where they can get a divorce? How would you consult them?
Yes, I was to explain the Brazilian law for them. They have rights to divorce anyway, even if the other part doesn't agree.
Yes.
If it's necessary, of course, always you can try to reach an agreement and make consensually through video conference online with a notary attending with us, and if a sworn translator is necessary.
Yes.
So after that, if it's consensual, okay, we can moving forward, and after that we can register the divorce in the marriage certificate. And so if it's not possible, also we have a lawsuit. And in this lawsuit is not possible in notary, we need to do in court. And if there is properties abroad involved, so we cannot discuss in Brazil. We only can discuss properties that are inside Brazil. Because when properties are abroad, and I have many cases like that, so
Yes.
they must hire a lawyer in their home countries and
Okay.
apply for the properties division there, not in Brazil, because
Yes.
Brazil only can take care of Brazilian properties. I think same are maybe closer in many countries.
Yes, it's very similar in many countries, right? Including Germany, including European countries, but also the United States. They will not try to make a decision about a property abroad, right? Because you have to
Yes,
get an appraisal, you have to see what is the market value of this real estate property, right? And they don't like to touch, the judges don't like to touch property abroad, right? Because it's a very difficult calculation, right? In the end. So we also advise to get, attorneys where the property is located, and we can cooperate with them. We can, find an agreement or sign settlements, right? But they have to get a decision on properties where they are located, right? Where the properties are. So otherwise, it will be very difficult and very lengthy in a divorce. It can take a lot of years, right? If you put everything, all the assets, and there are children involved, everything in a divorce, it can take a long time, right? So it's always best to find an agreement. We have a lot of high conflict cases also with international families when it comes to minor children. So especially in COVID and after COVID, we see a rise in international child abduction cases, right? Maybe you can also tell us a little bit about your experience. did you actually see that there were more children abducted from their parents or held back? Because of the uncertainty of COVID, there was a lot of lockdowns in different countries, right? And parents were just anxious, right? They were not sure if they see their child again, and a lot of parents were panicking, right? So we saw a lot of fathers, but also mothers holding back their children and not giving them back to the parent, right? For visitation rights. What is your experience in Brazil?
Yeah, here in Brazil, for example, I have currently cases running when I represent the both sides, né? Sometimes the father, sometimes the mother, and I completely understand where they have passing. Uh, but this is a typical case that we must be patient. Uh, since I start with that, I remember I have a very good friend that graduated with me. It's a famous lawyer in Brazil, a family law lawyer, and I remember that was a big fight for with the family here, and we see similar situations about these cases happening. And so it's a long process, and there's appeals, and of course, they all of them must be patient in order uh, to get their children on visitation rights, or even get the possibility to stay with them again, the guardianship and everything. So it's a typical case for patient. I think that it's a word that we can tell about that.
Yes. So, but Brazil is a member state, right? It's a member country of the International Hague Convention, and especially the protection for the Children's Act, right? So when they are, we're talking about minor children that are not returned to Brazil, for example, right, after the holidays, and the other parent holds them back in another country, right? Or they move, right? They go on holidays and they don't return. So that can also
Yes,
be a case.
yes, this happens a lot because, for example, I have situations that the mother has their reasons to bring the child to Brazil. Sometimes the father is aggressive. Sometimes there is a restraining order in their home countries, and so they bring to Brazil because sometimes children is Brazilian as well, so she can travel and start a fight for the custody in Brazil. And
Yes.
also, I have the opposite side. I have some clients that are are in the West trying to get their children back, or even for visitation. And it depends a lot of the age. See, because of course, baby cannot travel, or even with 2 or 3 years old, it's difficult. But sometimes we have cases with 10, 12 years old that it's possible. After 12, the children can be heard by the judge.
Yes.
So sometimes the children helps the father or the mother with a visitation right to say, I want to stay with my mom, I want to stay with my daddy. And we have some kind of situations that I see frequently when the mother or the father try to keep the children out of the communication with father and mother, that I think it's not fair, but happens. And so when the fight starts, because when someone is doing something that's not correctly and fair,
Yes.
this is when the fight reach a place.
Yes, exactly. And then you have a very messy, very high conflict divorce usually when the parents are still married and they get a separation or they get a breakup, right? And then, the problem starts usually when they have children, right? Because they both want the children to live with them. And sometimes the mom or the dad, they go back to their country of origin, right? They travel back and they want to stay there. And they say, well, I have family in my country that can take care of the children. They have grandmother or grandfather there, right? Or extended family. So that's when we have a lot of problems with those cases, right? Because there are always children involved. It's very emotional, right? It's very, very emotional and very difficult, and they have to have patience, as you said. But we try always our best, right? We try the best, and we exercise everything in the under the law. What countries would you say are the most popular countries where Brazilians usually like to move? Is it Portugal, or would you say there are other countries in the world?
Yes, the United States is the country that most of families move. Then second is Portugal.
Yes,
But on this case here, I think most of the cases are for fathers fighting to bring their children back that are in Brazil. I
yes,
think this is a typical case that
yes,
wasn't to happens a lot. Yeah, sometimes I had some cases that when they come to Brazil for tourism or even to spend some time with the mother's family, and the mother keep the children here
yes.
and does not return, so a case starts.
Yes, yes. Usually, when the mother does not return, right, and the father has to then contact an attorney in Brazil, like your law firm, and they have to tell you this happened, right, and I need to take legal action to return my child to the United States, for example, right?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
the mother does not cooperate or not respond anymore, right, and then
yeah.
you have to take action as an attorney in Brazil. And what would you think makes an international divorce so complex from from a Brazilian legal experience?
Here it is not so complex. I think it's a system that works. Of course, Brazil is civil law is different
Yes,
from the United States. That's common law. I know because I have been
yes,
studying in a LLM in American law, so I can compare and see everything. And family law is very closer. Brazil in the United States, they are similar legislations. But everything depends on the case. When the couple is not doing well, it's a very risk situation for the American father. Let the wife coming with the children for Brazil because it's probably a start of a case, and when they reach Brazil, he give the authorization in faith, and so she arrives in Brazil and keep the children here. I see most of the cases like that. And the American father, there is no way. Sometimes in the middle of the school classes, they arrive in Brazil and stay here and start a school here in Brazil on the following day because here it's not difficult. No, as you know, children has rights to go to school, and the same as in the United States. So this I think that is the happens a lot.
yes, yes. So from our experience, also we have like a lot of American fathers, right, and the mothers from Europe or from other parts of the world, and they break up. There's a separation, right, and then they're fighting about the kids, and the first holidays that either the mom or the dad takes, it's usually connected to a higher risk, right? Because if it's in the middle of a separation and both want to obviously not stay together, right, there's a higher risk that the following visitation to the home country could, be permanent, right? So if one parent does not return, then it is a big problem for the other parent. If there's not an agreement in place, right, and they're still fighting, we have to, initiate legal action, right? We try always out of court, a settlement as best as possible because it's the fastest way, right? Most effective way for the parents. But if it's not possible, sometimes they don't want to cooperate, then you have to take it to court and file a lawsuit, right? So beyond your experience, we know, like as international attorneys, we have a lot of different variety of different cases, right? Like we work on business law in the afternoon, we work on family law, then we work on real estate law. We have a lot of, interesting, very exciting cases. But when you can make like a category 1, 2, 3 of the most memorable cases that you had throughout all these years, what would you say is like your number one, number two, and number three case that our clients, can benefit from, that you have a very high experience in, that was, it's still in your mind these days, or you sometimes still think about that case?
Yes, and I have some cases in mind that for me was very difficult, very hard to get it. I remember when I had an American client, he was in a hotel here and he adopted a Brazilian child.
Yes.
And when he was trying to return, he was not able to get visa for this child. And so I remember was like very hard, very difficult to have an interview with the American consulate and show that everything was done correctly for the adoption. And remember, like it was like something about 10 years ago. And we finally reached a positive decision from the U.S. consulate here in Rio de Janeiro, and they accept to give the visa. So the family touched me so much with thanks and everything. So it's a case that was, I remember, it was the case of my life. And I'm very honored to assist in this case and successfully. And another one that was, I remember, was very difficult as well when a family from the United States, they have a brother here in Brazil, and this brother lost his father, that was father of these sisters in US as well, and and he was alone here without father. The father was dead, and so the sisters came here, and they hired me to represent them and bring this child to the United States as soon as possible. And I remember the same day, okay, let's go to court. And I prepared the power of attorney in the office. They sign it. I get them, and we see the judge. Saw the judge, and I show all the situation, show the judge, look, we have an emergency situation. This boy that is he was 8 years old. He has no one here. Her sister came here, and we need this today. We need authorization today because they need to return to the West today.
Yes.
And believe me, the judge accepted my request and authorized his departure on the same day. It was I never. It's something that is I'll never forget this because on the same day, so we returned the court. He packaged everything, and they got a flight on the same night. This was amazing.
Yes.
Something that
Yes.
we are able to persuade the judge and ask the public ministry to attend this court hearing. Everything on the same day. I remember I spent the whole day, but I slept it very happy
Yes, it's
because it's something that's
those preliminary proceedings, right? When you file something very urgent applications, and then you return. Usually, when we get like a decision the same day or the same day after, right? Or within like three business days. Usually, the court responds when you file a preliminary injunction, right? And then you get an amazing result, and it's your adrenaline, but also your joy for your clients, right? Because usually when you file a lawsuit, it can take weeks, months, sometimes years, right, for the court to make a decision. So when you have those very short successes in preliminary injunctions, right, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling for your clients, right? Because everything happens in a very short timeline, right?
yes, yes, and this I remember made me so happy. I remember the sisters crying for happiness and the boy as well, and they are together going to the United States. Wow, well, it's really amazing.
Yes, and especially if it's a family law, right? It's a family law case with a little boy. So that's very, important for the family to have the minor, which is only 8 years in your case. It was very important to get him here as soon as possible, right?
Yes,
And
yes, and so now the family is happy. I remember they contacted me some years ago, and he's very, very well. He is in university, and so it's like fantastic for me. He has much more opportunities in the US than in Brazil, of
yes,
course,
yes,
and it is amazing.
yes.
It's
And what
amazing.
is your number three case? You showed us two cases.
Yes, the number three case. I remember I got a case from criminal, and this girl is like 18 or 19 years old. I visited her in the penitentiary, and she told me that she was used for bring drugs in a suitcase, but she didn't know, and I believed her because we feel that someone that's like she was from the interior, from the place in Czech Republic. I think so. I don't remember exactly the name of the city. It was around 15 or 20 years ago. But I believe in her. I think that she was really not guilty for this case, and they used her to bring drugs. And I don't know. Even I was not so experienced, but I had a fantastic court hearing with the judge, and I persuade the judge, and he released her, and
Yes,
was for me for amazing because I remember it's one of second or third case on this matter, and I get a result like that.
yes,
So it was fantastic, and I always remember this when I have some difficulty in my career,
yes,
because we are able to do everything. We are able to
yes,
fight, we are able to persuade.
yes,
And so it's another case that is, I remember a lot. That
yes,
was Victor and his family as well. They are very happy. They just spent a few months in jail, and
yes,
it was fantastic. I had another one that make him very happy. This man is like 78 years old, and he was used for drug traffic dealers in Europe. He's from the UK, and they scan him. They show that they like fake documents to persuade him to bring us a luggage from Europe to Brazil, and he was detained in São Paulo airport, and he
okay,
faced criminal accusation, and I was able as well to release him
yes,
in 2 months. So this was amazing as well because, of course, now I'm better experienced, and I
yes,
developed the skills to get the best results and show the judge exactly that what kind of cases you are having.
yes,
And so now, of course, was more so easier than 20 years ago, but was the same emotion, was
yes,
amazing. And I was in contact with his son and his daughter, and they are so happy that I was able to release
yes,
their father in 2 months, 2 or 3 months.
yes,
So it's a fantastic result as well. And now uh, they are home with family, happy, and I'm happy as well. It's like
yes, of course.
it's
And
amazing.
I can believe that the criminal law system in Brazil is pretty strict too, right? Because in the United States, I mean, it's depending on the state, right, where you're convicted, but it's very strict, very different from Europe, right, where the criminal law system is mild, is softer, right, in a lot of European countries. In the U.S. is very strict. How is the court system and the criminal, especially criminal law system in Brazil for foreigners who are not familiar with the system there?
Yes, this is the big problem here because sometimes people think they didn't know about the drugs, so they are not guilty, but it's not the truth.
Yes,
Brazil has very strict law about this kind of situations because the government and the court, the justice in Brazil, they want to avoid Brazil becomes a path, becomes like a road for
yes,
drugs.
yes,
That's why everybody is convicted here. If they bring drugs, they bring, of course, we can get like minimal time in jail,
yes,
but always they are guilty, even if they doesn't know about the drugs in their luggage. So it's a way that the Brazilian government and Brazilian justice have to avoid Brazil to become a road. And
yes,
nowadays, we are very worried with that because, as you know, Venezuela, the criminal system of Venezuela is not working as well as,
yes,
as before, with Maduro in jail.
yes,
So there is a big chance this comes to Brazil, and our justice are very worried about that, and of course they are very vigilant with the police in the airports. They are search everything, but it's a situation that is happening here in Brazil. Brazil is a big country,
yes.
so it's I'm afraid there is a road for drugs.
Yes, yes. When you say that it has changed a lot or it's changing, how would you say when people who are trying to invest, right? Because international law also includes when people want to buy, right? Foreigners want to buy properties in Brazil. How would you say is the economy currently? Is there a good way, is it a buyer's market, a seller's market in Brazil? Is it, affordable, right, for foreigners to buy and to rent out, especially close to the beach, right? Very beautiful condos that you have. Is it a good market right now, a good economy for new buyers?
Vera, absolutely yes. Because here we have a left party government in Brazil, okay, and this make people uh, passing a difficult situation because, as you know, when you have left in the government, is there is no so uh, richness coming to the country, and the prices for the properties are very low. People have Brazilians have less money than before,
Yes,
and with this, the prices of properties going down, and also in the happens exactly the opposite with the currency. And as you can
yes,
see, dollar, euro, and British pound are very high. And so due pandemic, people selling a lot of properties and the crisis in the country, as you know, Brazil is a weak economy, is not big and rich like the United States and United Kingdom. So in currently right now, there is hundreds of properties for with very good price to sell. And even closer to the beach, as American clients, as an architect is selling his property right now here. And I think Americans and Britons and everyone outside Brazil have a fantastic advantage to buy properties here.
yes,
And believe me, even if you invest in property, and it's very easy to rent, because when you have more sellers than buyers, you have a very good market for rent. And
yes,
so you can have fantastic returns for an investment with properties, almost like 0 0.6, sometimes 0.7, depends
yes.
of
Okay,
the part of the city. In Rio de Janeiro, for example, we have the South Zone, that it's an amazing area close to the beach. And you cannot imagine and you cannot believe that uh, fantastic properties closer to the beach for this kind of prices. And
yes,
but believe me, I think the situation in a maybe middle time you reverse. I think the prices will go up for the
yes,
property and the currency goes down because we have the rights on leader on the polls. And so maybe we have a government change
yes,
like Trump did in the United States. We have here the same. And with the rights on the government, the prices will go up and the currencies go down. So
yes,
then it's time for investor sales, when
yes.
when this we have this inverse situation.
Exactly. And
So
if there's a political change, if you said if there's a political change soon, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um,
I believe in a political change soon.
and the
We don't.
shift of power, then you have a completely different politics, right? And then it might be a seller's market, right, instead of a buyer's
Yeah,
market. Then the
yeah,
seller can, increase the price, right, and like get a different sales price for the same condo or for the same house, right? And that is
exactly.
why a lot of Americans would have to pay a lot more, right, to buy in Brazil, right?
Yeah, like it was before. Like
Yes,
was before, like 10 years ago or something,
yes,
because I think this market goes in cycles, so
exactly.
now we have a cycle for good prices and currency high. That is good for investors now.
Yes,
Then I believe this will be opposite.
yes,
So very short, very medium time, not short time, but like in 3 or 2, 3, 4 years, I think this will be the opposite.
yes, yes. So you're also speaking at the International Bar Association at conferences, right? Um,
Yes,
is there
yes,
any memorable topic that you talked about that you're very passionate about?
yes. I talked. My last one was about family law in Brazil, and I explained the adoption process. I explained how divorce works. I explained about the stable union document that we have here, that is the couples has same rights for marriage, but it's much easier. You can do this in 5 minutes, a stable union document, and give
Yes,
you exactly the same rights for a marriage.
yes,
Even for you qualify for visa, you qualify for pension for pension funds as well. So
yes.
exactly the same rights. And here in Brazil, this is very serious. Né? The law respects a lot stable union couples here.
Yes. So when our clients or international clients, they want to contact you, they say, I want to hire this firm, I want to get in contact with them, I have an international case that is related to Brazil, right? How can they contact your firm or your team?
Oh, it's very easy. We have a website at alvesjacob.com.
Yes.
We have when you where you have our contact details in United States, in United Kingdom, in Portugal, and many of cities in Brazil. So it's a very easy connection. There is also a WhatsApp number there, man. You can reach me. My clients can reach me instantly on the same time. And so there are many ways to contact us. And also there is a form inside our website that if there is no connection with emails, they can of course post a request, a inquire or something about Brazilian law that will be a big pleasure to answer.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Yes. Thank you so much, Attorney Jacob. It was a great talk with you, and we will continue about other topics, right? And just to give our international clients a little bit more details, we will put all your information in below, right? Below this video, so they can contact you directly. If you have social media channels, we will put it also, so they can, see and follow you, right? And we will talk to you very soon. And I wish you a great day.
Thank you very much for to be part of this project and attend your podcast. And I'm very happy to stay here. Thanks a
Thank you.
lot as well.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.